Like I was saying, we're gonna watch some videos. Also, it's really hot. Fuck me. Somebody's hitting hard. Damn. Anywho, let's watch some fucking videos from Fleekazoid. Oh, wrong thing. Hold up, I got it covered. I know exactly what I'm doing. There we go. Ta-da! I'm smart. I also have food and water. Can't watch videos without popcorn. Okay, let's watch this. Watching a video from Fleekazoid, why Star Wars Outlaws is doomed. I mean, it was doomed from the beginning, but still. Let's see it.
Star Wars Outlaws is coming out later this month, and it's already marked for death. Son
of a bitch.
Star Wars Outlaws is coming out later this
month,
and it's already marked for death. Some people are roasting it, some people are praising it, but personally, quite frankly, I'm appalled. Appalled that they would allegedly pay off all these creators and not me. I'm not good enough to be flown out to Ubisoft Island. You know what? Screw you and your trip to Disneyland. I didn't want to sweat my balls off standing in line to get a picture with Mr. Minnie Mouse anyway. Game's become lame as hell, pimp. Not even the bribes are as good as they used to be. And speaking of lame, we have great value Lilo and Stitch. Starting with the AI
gameplay for Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed.
Sorry, am I the only one who just noticed how thick Nami is from Lilo and Stitch? Why did it took me years to notice this? Like, seriously, look at those thighs. God damn.
Lilo and Stitch. Starting with the AI
gameplay for Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows was not only praised but also highlighted the cutting-edge capabilities of our game engine. The cutting-edge capabilities of our game engine.
Yeah, I bet.
Capabilities of our game engine.
Ubisoft AI are very often touched with the tism, but now they are fully engulfed by the tism. Their chromosomes are under siege. Everything they do is 10 seconds too late and comes at half the speed. One of the funniest things I've seen them do in multiple videos now is they run closer to you, then they reach for their secondary, but it takes so long for them to draw their secondary that it's too late. Because Macho Man Randy Savage already bubbled them. IGN, does that feel like the blaster battles have stakes?
The blaster battles felt like they had meaningful stakes.
Thanks, IGN. What about this clip? Does this look like the blaster battles have stakes, PC Gamer? Jesus Christ, it looks like...
Every penis. Why? They actually did it.
I caught you at a bad time. I'll come back later. These AI just crave the great beyond, and I don't blame them. I would too if I were trapped in the one space game without busty alien women, or a second space game without busty alien women. And that brings me my next gripe. Budget cuts. Hot alien women are a cornerstone of space entertainment. The pillars, if you will. Why else would we reach for the stars if we weren't damn sure that there were three-breasted women on the other side? You ever think of that? I didn't just strap myself to a giant dick-shaped Molotov cocktail just so I could see a regular old set of two. And another thing, I don't want to hear that face scanning is hard excuse either. They scanned in that ginger from Shameless, pixel perfect, freckles and all. But then when it came time to scan this actress's face in, all of a sudden we're using the NBA 2K face scanner.
Highlighted the cutting-edge capabilities of our game engine.
Don't even get me started on that little fucking knockoff Stitch, that little counterfeit. I could talk about this for the next 20 minutes, but this game's like fitting 6 pounds of shit into a 3-pound bag, alright? So we're just gonna have to keep moving. While we're talking about crap though, let's talk about this ship combat. Somehow this looks worse than Starfield. Save me, Todd Howard. This looks stiff as hell. Save me, Todd Howard. Stiffer than Albie. Saturday at 7 p.m. EST as I live stream Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball.
Oh man, I remember that game.
Saturday at 7 p.m. EST as I live stream Dead or Alive.
Shit, I remember this game. God damn, this was my childhood right here. Yes, I was a degenerate since I was a kid. Still remember that day that I saw the game at sale on fucking Toys R Us of all places, and I tried to convince someone to buy it for me because I didn't have any money. I didn't get any allowance that day, okay? Back in those times, I didn't get any allowance, so I was like, oh man, Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. I want this game. And then my sister comes along and she's like, why do you want that game? You don't even like sports. And I'm just looking at the cover, like, looking at her, looking at the cover, looking at her. Reasons? Looking at the cover. Trying to come up with a way to fucking get that game. Oh, man. Never got around to play it. Only saw clips and stuff on YouTube. Memories. I did get Dead or Alive 3 though. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Beach volleyball. Ubisoft's new slogan should be Ubisoft.
Yes, no? No? Sorry, my cat. My cat's here. Oi. Oh no. Please don't turn off my PC, cat. I need it.
We'll show you that it can get worse. Look, we even made our logo worse. Save me, Todd Howard. Speaking of things getting worse, this game is chock full of bullet sponges. Look at this. It takes 4 body shots to kill an enemy, and that's not just on the stormtroopers. You go shoot a guy wearing cloth and he'll tank 3 shots to the chest. Fuck you. Fuck your lasers. My boy was wearing a cardigan. But now that sloth-like punch to the face and it's game over. And I can live with that in a game where you have 2 other primaries that actually do damage. But in Outlaws, this is the only permanent weapon you get, and every other gun is just a pickup that comes with 1 mag.
Highlighted the cutting-edge capabilities of our game engine.
Hey, guess what? I can even make that hogwash work, but you bet your bottom bitch that better be one hell of a gun. And not a slow-ass basic blaster that shoots 10 seconds of disappointment, then needs to cool down, and hits too close to home. It's very clear that they want you to stealth, but then look at these takedowns. These have the speed and form of a chunky 70-year-old Steven Seagal. Look at that fat roll right there. It's like they tore Seagal away from an Eastern European brothel to do the mocap. It's kind of hard to describe, but they just kind of have that same look of a half-assed hit met with a stuntman that's doing his absolute damnedest to pay his rent this month. Many people are calling these the worst takedowns Ubisoft's ever done, but don't be dramatic, alright? Show a little respect. If you would...
What respect? This thing looks awful. Like, seriously, look at those fucking takedowns.
Seen the Caveira takedowns from Wildlands, then you would know that these are obviously the second worst takedowns that Ubisoft has ever done. Look at these Popeye punches. She reaches back into the prehistoric era to wind these things up. And in some of these takedowns, they go full Gollum and forget the punch sound effect. They ever doing Space Marine takedown just without the flood of blood that makes it look like they just killed the Kool-Aid man. Why the hell am I still here talking about this? I should be edging to Space Marine 2 trailers right now. Speaking
I never
of
played
pounded,
this game.
Let's talk about the
I should.
reputation system.
Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself.
Yeah,
The
Gambit.
system in this game looks like a ball of yarn. It's just something to keep you busy and give you the illusion that your choices matter. But in reality, nothing you do has major consequences. Don't believe my visions? Don't trust the foresight and foreskin of the mighty seven-eyed fleek? Well, I started reading words recently, so check out some random shit I found in an article. Ubisoft has already confirmed my visions. Read it and weep. Over 10 years ago in Dragon Age Origins, you could accidentally erase an entire group of people.
I don't have the footage will continue me. I mean, those are nice, not gonna lie.
Here, your negative reputation makes it so you can't freely walk through cities during some main missions without getting caught. What happens when you get caught? You get escorted out to the front gate. Nope, you can't shoot them. You're in a city, and from everything I've heard, you can't pull your gun out in cities. And in fact, the stormtroopers will arrest you for being annoying.
Highlighted the cutting-edge capabilities of our game engine.
This truly is the second coming of Gollum. Cool notoriety system, though. But if I can't shoot civilians, pull out my gun in cities, or steal civilian vehicles, how the hell am I supposed to trigger it? I can't wait to find out. Ubisoft, you beautiful bukkake slop. Even though Outlaws looks like the exclusive rights lifted and you guys just cranked out some bullshit as fast as you could, I'm willing to leave all that behind if you are. For the low, low price of $10,000. For $10,000, I will be unburdened by what has been. I could find 10,000 reasons to love this game for that kind of money, in my honest opinion, of course. I promise you, when they give me that $10,000 and I schedule the next $10,000, I'll tell them, buddy, no, I want that all in quarters. I'm going straight to the jiggle joint after this. I'm going to make it hail up in there. I'll tell them, listen here, buddy, the truth cannon's firing. I'm only doing this if I can put in the contract
Is that
I'm allowed to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. You don't make those dollar bills. It's gonna travel light. Here's a little sample of what you can expect. You ready? Look at that grass sway.
Grass? Wait,
God,
what?
that is some good grass. While we're looking at this amazing
God, that
grass,
grass
I want
is
to
just
offer
too
my
unreal.
utmost honesty for the low price of $10,000 to the following
God, that
games:
grass is just
Assassin's
too
Creed
unreal.
Shadows. Love me some Shadows.
This game is more sonically accurate than Assassin's Creed Shadows Code Vein. And big mommy milkers. I'll watch this later. It's a 3-hour video. I'm not watching this now. On stream. Maybe later. This man knows what the what the people want. Let's watch this one. Why I love World War II. Oh, baby. I wonder why. Oh, man, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. 1914.
Duke friends, that explosive's on you. That guy got blown to pieces because of you. When I printed you out my map quest, I didn't know that you were gonna put the whole damn route in the paper. 9-9.
Wow.
I don't speak Hungary, and I don't speak German neither, my friend. Dropping you off right here, good.
Is this Battlefield 5?
Duke friends, get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car. We're on top of the pin, Franz. You put the pin here on the map quest, Franz. So I drove you here, Franz. Das ist mein Hostel. You Austro-Hungry hippo, get out of my face.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
The Kingsman.
This is gonna ruin my Uber rating.
I'm gonna have to go back to teaching art class at the community college. God fucking damn it, Franz. Why'd you have to drive in a convertible?
Did.
That is the result of His Majesty's government.
Oh, Battlefield 1. Damn. Maybe I should play Battlefield 1 again.
God, I love that song. That'll get your damn unborn son to enlist. Franchises. We all love them, we all hate them, but at the end of the day, no one loves them more than the suits. Because franchises bring in some buku bucks, pimp. That's French for fuck you money. The first of the franchise just has to prove that the idea is profitable. And if it is, God help us, because it's time to ride it till the wheels come off. And by wheels come off, I mean shit gets beyond crazy. Because the money men make it rain on the creators like they're paying a stripper through nursing school. Oh, we got $200 million now? Shove that bald fuck into his Dodge Charger and send his ass to space. John Wick 1, tactical gun fu? Now we're drifting through a roundabout nailing headshots. Alien
Wow.
becomes Aliens, becomes Alien versus Predator, and PTSD becomes nostalgia. God, I love this movie. So many different interpretations happen. It creates separate fan bases within the fan.
Also,
So
Murica
many
there.
versus Predator, and PTSD becomes nostalgia.
The only thing about America that I can love. This picture right here.
This movie. So many different interpretations happen. It creates separate fan bases within the fan base that are at war with each other. Look at Fallout. New Vegas is often touted as the best game because it is. Bet the house on it.
play roulette.
Oh, fuck. Meanwhile, Fallout 3 and 4 fans will fight each other for second place, all while Fallout 1 fans just sit in the back of the room laughing at everyone because they know this crusty-ass game is the real GOAT. That's right, Gramps. Make sure the nurse just keeps checking on him, all right? Sometimes he wanders off to the playground and yells slurs at the 76 fans. I guess what I'm trying to say is World War II is the new Vegas of wars. You're not going to top it. America's
shit,
trying
did that
a lot of
close.
stuff after, but that's all Fallout 4 to me. Some cool new ideas, some better soundtracks, but certainly not the best. And there may be some Revolutionary War purists out there, but that's all Fallout 1 to me. It got us here, and I'm thankful for it, but no one wants to shoot a fucking musket. And then there's World War 1. That's like Fallout 3 to me. You can't have New Vegas without 3, but people still constantly forget about it because they can just play World War 2 instead. World War 1 just lacks the glory, the
Yeah.
personality that World War 2 had. They took that sequel money and they outshined the original. Simple as that. Hell, we dropped the most devastating sequel of all time in World War 2. Here we're getting trench foot. Here we're dropping an army out of the fucking sky. Here we got bolt action rifles. Here
Oh,
we got
shit.
Tommy guns. Tanks. Dorks, I hate to say it, sharply dressed. Hugo Boss did a bang up job. I gotta
He
go
did.
buy some of those guys' stuff. Jesus Christ, never mind. Now I know what all that gold was for. Whereas World War II movies demonstrated heroism, World War I movies portray horror. If your protagonist accomplishes anything before he dies, your bitch-ass World War I movie may as well be Care Bears. Air that shit after Barney. The kids will love it. They'll sit.
That's actually true, though. It's kind of weird how people do that, honestly. Like, World War One is complete fucking horror. Like, complete PTSD, shell shock, you name it. Every single fucking bad thing happens. World War One. With World War Two, it's about heroism. And the thing is, they still do that nowadays. They still grab World War Two for recruiting. They still give you the example, like when you go to recruit to the military and stuff like that, they still go, oh, World War II, be a hero like your grandparents, blah, 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 blah. That sort of shit. You know, they try to appeal to your sense of heroism because they know patriotism is dead. Like, no one nowadays joins military because of patriotism. Like, the majority of people don't give a fuck about patriotism. I certainly don't, and I'm Portuguese, but then again, that's kind of natural for us. We fight for money, basically. Better conditions and all that. That's actually the reason why I once considered a military career, was literally money. Like, I was in school, and I was like, man, what am I gonna do when school is over? I was like 3 years away from finishing school, from finishing high school, I think. That's how you say it in English. From completing school, and I was just like, man, what am I gonna do? What kind of career do I want? And I couldn't think of anything, and then it popped in my head, well, if I can't find a job, if I can't get, you know, a career, a normal career, there's always the military. But then I kept weighting the pros and the cons, like on one hand, stability. They give you a salary, they give you a roof over your head, 3 meals a day. The downside is you gotta train. You basically need to go to the gym every fucking day, all the time. And the other downside would be that there's always a motherfucker yelling at your ears, barking orders left, right, and center, and I just like, no, I don't like that. I don't like getting yelled at. I don't like getting yelled at. Whisper to me softly, kill that motherfucker, please. And I'll do it. Just don't yell at me, I'll shoot you. I'm joking. But yeah, I really don't like people yelling at me. Anyway, that's a rant. Little rant. And knowledge.
On their little hugs and fall asleep to that G-rated horror. Whereas World War II just knew how to have a blast. If this scene was in a World War I movie, this bastard would have gotten blown up as soon as he peeked his head out. Speaking of
Saving
bastards,
Private
World
Ryan.
War II just had better ones. Just a dick with one ball and an Argentinian passport. Think about it like this. Despite Far Cry 2 having deeper mechanics, Far Cry 3 is everybody's favorite. Why is that?
Yeah.
It's got a strong villain with an unorthodox hairstyle. Hell, AH and the Yahtzees were such evil pieces of shit that they became the face of the evil franchise. You don't see someone get called fat on Twitter and reply by calling the other person literally Genghis Khan, do you? They're not saying, okay, Mao, okay, Vlad the Impaler, okay, full mustache guy. No, in this beautiful country, if somebody even gets your order wrong, I'll tell you what you do. You grab that telecom, you stare them directly in their eyes, and you go, you are literally the funny mustache guy. Do you know that? They can't even remember his name. Education is an issue in our country, but quite possibly the realest reason for why World War II outshines World War I is the busty women.
Damn, baby.
World War II where
Oh shit, that's Enterprise.
could leverage busty women to save the world.
Sorry, that's Enterprise. That's Enti right there.
World War I is the busty women. It was
That's Enti right there.
here in World War
I recognize those anywhere. Those eyes, of course.
Allied nations learned that you could leverage busty women to save the world. In World War I, it was Uncle Sam. In World War II, it was Big Ol' Yams. And they
Oh shit,
won
that's
up
from an
the
anime. I
world
know
with a
that
good
one too. Those eyes get me anywhere.
Food Alliance. They carried that weight on their backs so that we didn't have to. I mean, I bet Japan wouldn't be kamikaze planes into our shores if they had some bitches. They were just late on the whole busty anime woman thing, and by the way, that's why they lost the war. We could have gone tit for tit, but they were sagging behind. Busty women sold war bonds, inspired the troops, gone tit for tit.
Wait, this one is German. I know that uniform.
But they were sagging behind. Busty women sold war bonds, inspired the troops, made our planes fly higher, extended our mags, and turned those WMDs into WM double Ds. If you think about it, what does World War I have again? The British flying unmarked paper planes? Get real. Even they joined the busty coalition in the sequel war. Shout
Indeed.
out to the Brits. All that is to say, if we start bringing back busty women in the media, then get to lacing up those trench boots, pimps, because you already know what's coming. Listen,
Yeah,
low-key
World
levels are
War
good
II.
these times, but when it's time to tussle, they want you frothy. Where's my camera? It's staring at a busty babe today. It's bombarding Beirut tomorrow. We might even just pull a Star Wars, bring back the stash as the main villain. Somehow the funny mustache guy returned and shit. Not the point. The point is, when people overlook World War I, they're overlooking an entire part of history that led to Band
World War
of
II.
Brothers, one of the greatest TV shows of all time. So today's video is a little history lesson told by the most accurate teacher of World War I, Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 is the most realistic depiction of the Great War on the market. You can't trust the history books. In fact, we should burn them. I don't know, it just came over me. It must be the Boss Virgin cardigan. Ever since I put this baby on, I just started getting ideas of Grand Conquering and buying a Volkswagen. I start profusely sweating when I walk into banks or watch Hollywood movies. Getting back to it, the Trench War. First war was a time where gas was a war crime and not a product. It was the war that transitioned...
Wait, was it a war crime? I'm pretty sure they use that shit all the time. Pretty sure they used that shit in World War I all the time. It wasn't a war crime back then. Like, people actually forget that both the war crimes and the Geneva Convention are very, very, very recent. That shit didn't exist in World War II. Which was like, what, 80 years ago? Something like that? So it's a very, very recent thing, and people forget about that all the freaking time. They just go, oh my god, human rights. Like, that shit didn't exist. Like, that shit didn't exist. You were a prisoner of war, you were probably dead. Or tortured. Or raped. Or both. Or all three if you're convenient. Like, seriously, it just didn't happen back in those days. Like, people forget how young, how recent it is that we just started respecting human rights in general. Which tells you a lot about human history as a whole. Like, if only now, recently, did we start respecting human rights, it kind of makes you wonder, why didn't we do that like, why did it took us, like, thousands of years until we finally reached this point? What made us give that leap? Like what made us go, we should probably start respecting human rights? And sure, you can debate that back in the day there was the concept of honor, which, you know, in a way it's like the ethics of back then. I guess you could call it that, the ethics of war and stuff like that. But nonetheless, if you were... Not everyone had honor. Like, some people were straight up psychopaths. And they were used during warfares and stuff like that just to kill people. I mean, look at, for example, during the medieval age. I'm pretty sure some people who tortured prisoners were most likely psychopaths or serial killers or some shit like that. But since they were given a stable job and a way to... what's the word I'm looking for here? An outlet for their twisted fantasies, their dark fantasies, they just went, yeah, okay, sure. Who's the king? This guy? Awesome, he gives me a job. And I'm allowed to torture people. Like, okay. Pretty sure that kind of stuff has happened.
Armies from cloth hats.
Oh, one thing I forgot to say. There is also one thing that we forget about those times, is that we still had a concept of ethics. It wasn't just as developed as it is nowadays. Like, an example of that would be the Bluebeard guy. Gilles de Rais. Wait, fuck, what's his name again? It's Gilles something. The guy who was in love with Marie Antoinette, not Marie Antoinette, fuck. Jeanne d'Arc. Fuck, I was forgetting the name. I was mixing all the French people, I'm sorry. But yeah, the guy which was basically the right hand of Jeanne d'Arc. That guy went insane when she got burned at the stake, when she was burned alive by the Pope, and he basically just started kidnapping kids and torturing them, usually little boys. He would rape them, torture them, kill them, and he did some really fucked up things, and he admitted it all in court. And the idea of him as to why he did all of those things was simply because he just wanted to be reunited with Jeanne d'Arc. So his mentality was, well, since the Pope sent her to hell and declared her a witch, that means I need to be a very evil bastard in order to be reunited with her. It's a twisted love story when you think about it. But yeah, he did that. And people were basically outraged at the time, I think, if I'm not mistaken. What I'm trying to explain is that there was a concept of ethics. Like, the life of a child still mattered back in those days. there was still a certain concept of honor or morals going on in there. You know, it wasn't as developed as we have nowadays, but the basis for it was there. Like killing a child is a big no-no, but then when you when you when you analyze it, there are certain situations when they were kind of okay with it. For example, in the Japan, if you had the baby, you could kill it as soon as it was born, because the idea that they believed in was, since it's a brand new life, it still doesn't have an anchor on this world, therefore they can send it back to the afterlife. It was something like that. I won't go into details, but there was a certain belief like that. There was some really weird stuff that our ancestors did, okay? That's what I'm trying to get at. And the concepts of honor, ethics, and human rights in general are very, very, very new. But people take those things for granted.
Where gas was a war crime and not a product. It was the war that transitioned armies from cloth hats to helmets. It taught leaders you couldn't use human wave tactics to overwhelm an LMG with letter openers. Friendly fire wasn't active yet, so we spammed grenades and bombs without consequence. And it taught the Serbians absolutely nothing. Fun fact though, the Serbian military didn't give out standard issue boots, so Serbian soldiers had to bring their own personal pair of Abidas from home. Leave it to the Slavs to start a war, then figure out how to save money on it. But now, in their defense, it was a unique time in war. They went from making throwing artillery out of a hot air balloon a war crime to flying a damn Goodyear blimp into battle. The war
Wait, seriously? They had hot air balloons? And throwing shit at it? Declaration concerning the prohibition of the discharge of projectiles and explosives from balloons or by other new analog methods. For the 5 years in any war between signatory powers, no projectiles or explosives would be launched from balloons or by other two methods of a similar nature. What do you call fucking airplanes, though? Like, seriously. Oh, man, I really need to question these things because it doesn't make sense. Like, how do we go from deciding stabbing a motherfucker from the front is perfectly fine, stabbing a guy from the back is not fine? Like, how do we decide that? You're just killing people at the end of the day. How do we go from this method is honorable, this method is not? This method is perfectly fine from a moral and ethical standpoint, this method is not. How do we do that? How do we go from bombarding people in the trenches with gas is perfectly fine, using a trench gun, a shotgun in the trenches is not fine, that should be declared a war crime? How do we go from one to the other? How do we decide that shit? At the end of the day, we're just killing people. Why is one method considered okay and the other one is not?
Out of a hot air balloon a war crime to flying a damn Goodyear blimp into battle. The war was brutal, and the only thing more brutal was the mag capacities. Now, what did the war look like? The front lines is all the action that isn't in those fictitious movies combined into one single tight package. This game lets you become a World War I hero that Hollywood would never make a movie about. And I am thankful, because I swear to God, if I watch one more World War I movie that's 100 minutes of build-up only to show the main guy dying for nothing just before the credits roll, I'm gonna invade Poland next! I gotta take this off. Listen, but I get that you can't show a guy going on a 25 kill streak if your whole message is that war is bad and that people shouldn't do it. Otherwise, people would get the impression that war is actually pretty rad and that people should do it because it's cool. And we already know.
I mean, people already do it either way, so I mean, just look at Eastern Europe. Just look at Europe in general. We're one step away of World War III. And with the way how Trump is trying to get laid with Putin, it's not much further. I'm just enjoying the ride until the end comes. I just hope that when the time comes, I get isekai so that I can live in a better fucking world than this shit. A bit of existentialist dread there.
That movies do directly cause wars. Just look at the facts. Tears of the Sun came out March 3rd of 2003. We invade Iraq by March 20th. If only we had slipped a copy of All Quiet in the Western Front to the funny mustache fella, we could have thwarted World War II altogether. He could have been
oh shit!
Fella. We could have thwarted World War II altogether.
I shouldn't laugh, but why does this clip make it funny to me? That's fucked up.
He could have been one hell of a motivational speaker instead, like the Tony Robbins of Germany. But with that being said, all these World War I movies are so negative about the war. I'm a positive guy, so I want to talk about the positives that came out of World War I. We'll get to the nitty-gritty of combat in a second. Like, for example, this war created Pilates. Huh?
Oh.
What would rich housewives do with their afternoons if Pepe wasn't getting shelled by mortar fire for 4 years? Shout out for the French. Kleenex. Yeah, that's right. Kleenex were originally used as like a prototype for a gas mask filter, and now
Wait,
you
seriously?
use them for target practice. You know, to catch strays, test fire the bazooka. The next time you go to spank the monkey, be sure to thank your local German.
I wasn't getting the metaphor until we
Fleek,
showed
alright?
that clip of Scary Movie.
Use them for target practice. You know, to catch strays, test fire the bazooka.
This clip, I wasn't getting the metaphor until this showed up. That's when I was like, oh.
So the next time you go to spank the monkey, be sure to thank your local German. Give him a little tickle on the ear for Fleek, alright? Snuggie, look at you sitting there with your arms all toasty and shit. Well, if you like Snuggies, you can thank the British for creating trench coats. And I know you're thinking, those aren't Snuggies, Fleek. Wake up! Snuggies are basically trench coats if you wore them the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
Wristwatches. Now, technically, these already existed, but they were almost exclusively seen as a woman's accessory until midway through the war when the Aussies learned of edging. More specifically, how it could sharpen a soldier's eyesight, reflexes, stamina, get him spotting a pigeon from 10 miles away and shit. But how do you keep track of your edging cycles when your hands are full of your whistle and your pistol and you can't pull out a pocket watch? When you're knee-deep in Haagen-Dazs territory or running over Ottomans? You get a wristwatch so that you can just glance at it instead. You don't believe what I'm saying? There's a whole movie on this called Munich, The Edge of War. Go watch it for yourself.
I actually didn't know that wristwatches were considered a woman's thing.
Buddy, I don't lie. I just tell the wrong truth. Now, this next one isn't too known, and I've been fucking around, but this one is actually real. I'm gonna break it down for you. You see, during World War I, French troops would often have to take a dump. But with all the mortar fire coming down, they didn't feel like risking their life by running to the trench porta potty, so they clinched up. You know.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, honestly. How do you take a shit? Like, this actually brings a good point. How do you take a shit or a piss in the middle of artillery? Like, how do you go? Do you finish? Like, say it's quiet, you know, quiet in the Western Front. It's quiet, and you really gotta go. So you start doing it, and all of a sudden, while you're mid-release, artillery all over the place, shooting all over the place. Like, what do? Do you just pull your pants up and leave the third glue to your ass? You finished the dropping? What do you do? Like, what do? You just try to poop faster, like, yeah. Oh man, I'm going to hell for these jokes. I'm the only one who finds them funny.
Held it in and waited for the barrages to subside. But sometimes they'd get quiet for a while, and just when they thought the barrage had ended, and as they motioned to grab the porta potty key, a mortar fire would come down and scare the shit out of them.
Exactly.
So as a remedy, they created the shit stopper. That's right. Butt blockades were originally created. The remedy, they created the shit stopper. That's right. Butt blockades were originally created as a stopgap to prevent unintentional discharges during artillery barrages, so that they could buy time until they were able to make it to the trench porta potty. That's knowledge.
I want to believe, but at the same time I don't.
That I bestow upon you for free. But hey, listen, I just got my orders, so I'm gonna drop some friends off at the pool real quick, and then we're gonna head out to the battlefield. All right, I'll see you there.
Oh man.
I'm standing here on the front lines in no man's land. I got shot.
Hospital.
Well,
Vienna.
hey, I might have gotten shot, but the good news is my Purple Heart helped me get my job back at the community college. They were able to forgive me after, my little mishap that cost one of my former art students his testicle after I kicked him out of my art class. I wonder what happened to that kid. How the hell was I supposed to know? How the hell was I supposed to know? If he had that dumbass mustache when I rejected him, I probably could have told, but anyways, let's not play the blame game here, okay? We're almost to the beach. I gotta go.
Man, I gotta give it to the Americans. Like, when you guys did the D-Day, that shit was horrible. Like, I can't even imagine how the troops felt. Like, I think Saving Private Ryan is the only movie who actually made me have a proper grasp of how bad D-Day was. Because pushing through those fucking MGs, like, that is no joke. Those things overheat from how fast they shoot the bullets. Like, they shoot so many rounds per second that shit just overheats. And back in those days, they didn't exactly go with burst fire. They just went... It's basically like having that American airplane, what's it called, the Warthog, that shoots so powerful, like it shoots so fast that it can actually propel itself backwards. You know the one I'm talking about. It's basically like having a miniature plane like that, but it's in a bunker, and you can just shoot that wheel to the beach. Like, it's... I don't know. I fail to grasp how those men felt during those times. It's just impossible for me to imagine. I can't. I've tried, but I just can't. So, Saving Private Ryan is the only movie that made me realize just how brutal D-Day was. And how they had to push through the fucking artillery, the machine guns, like bullets all over the place. How did you even manage to do that? The concept of fucking riot shields wasn't invented yet. Must have been horrible. Actually, why didn't they invent riot shields back in those days? That does beg the question. Like, can you imagine a bunch of Americans just going with the phalanx of the Spartans? You know what I mean? You know, like, just going a fucking Spartan formation with riot shields, right? Just pushing through the machine gun. I don't know, I'm just imagining. That would have worked, wouldn't it?
Game here, okay? We're almost to the beach. I gotta go. Get this bratwurst, you crowd bastards!
Oh, it's over.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Blake Hall be served in this war, too. I got my ivory power suit on. Oh, wrong answer.
Oof.